this as cloudy. We've had one question in this week, which is, I am really enjoying Stadia. Should I sell Met the console? I don't think he said Met. We'll put that down to typo boy here.
Typo boy who was doing his rush this morning. Yeah, basically, I get asked this question a lot, and it appears over Reddit as well and over Twitter. People have said, I'm really enjoying Stadia. I'm going to get rid of my console, or should I get rid of my existing consoles like the PlayStation 4 and Xbox? My advice to everyone in that is absolutely not to do that going forward. You're going to miss out on the exclusive content on them systems. And I have seen we're coming up to nearly a year gone in Stadia, and there seems to be a lot of stages in Stadia. Stadia is going to be your favorite place to play. It's going to be your number one place to play. Then you hate Stadia, then you love Stadia, and then you go into acceptance mode.
It's true.
For Stadia, where it's going to be more, where you go into like if the games are in Stadia, you're going to get them in Stadia, but it's more a companion console at this moment in time. I still count Stadia as a console at this moment. If you want all to be guaranteed games coming to you, games you want to play, like FIFA's Day and Date, Call of Duties, you need to keep your existing consoles, and you need your existing consoles for your exclusive titles. And other people get really caught up the Stadia, and that's absolutely fair play to them, because Stadia is an amazing place to play. But at this moment in time, it's not a place where you should be really selling your consoles to make Stadia your complete home at this moment, in my view. What do you think, Rokk?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, isn't it? I mean, as you know, I'm fairly invested in my old PS4 of old. Although recently, I've kept up my Game Pass. Game Pass? I've forgotten what it's called. PlayStation Plus. I've kept that up, but I've only bought Ghosts of Tsushima recently on it, which I was disappointed with, and I've abandoned. I haven't got anywhere near half completion of that game. But and also though, I've also invested in GeForce Now. I've also invested in gaming PC. I mean, for me, and I think you've said this yourself before, Duncan, it's not about let me choose one and that's going to be it anymore. It's going to be about the games. It's going to be about the convenience. And again, let's come back to the main focus of this show, which is people like us that, and I'm talking you and I, because we both fit into this, very, very busy people, lots going on in our lives. I mean, you work full time, plus you're running Cloudy, plus you've got a family. So, we're atypical of a lot of people that game these days, particularly in their 30s, 40s and beyond. So for me, it's about the convenience. It's about the games. I want to be able to fire up. On the one hand, I might have a whole Friday evening, which I don't get because guess where I am on a Friday, but I may have a whole evening to myself, and the family may have gone off to the flicks or something, and then I want to fire up my PC and play something, really complex and graphically beautiful. But then another time, I want to play in the lounge, or on my phone. So for me, then I fire up my cloud gaming, my favorite cloud gaming platform, which is Stadia. And why is that? Because for me, they hit the magic friction-free button. It's just by far the easiest of all the cloud gaming platforms out there to just fire it up, hit play, and you're in, and you don't have to worry about a thing. But equally, I'm very excited about the next gen consoles. They will be, light years ahead of the previous generation. They will be the first time, with the exception of the new NVIDIA graphics cards, which obviously were only announced last week, they're not quite available yet, but they'll be the first time that consoles take a leap beyond PCs. So also, I use mine as a Blu-ray player, and my kids like to watch videos on there. So it has a home in my entertainment center, but the ability to play a game wherever I want without having to worry about hard drive space, without having to worry about patches, where everything is kind of taken care for me, I'm going to be invested in Stadia. And then there are some games that aren't available on Stadia, and that will always be the case, in which case I have a Steam account or I have an Xbox Game Pass, and I have those other routes that I can play the games that I want to play. So, that's my answer. No, don't sell your console. Don't sell your console. One, because you'll have games anyway that you've purchased and probably will want to play moving forward. Secondly, because there will be more games to come that will be exclusives on those platforms. I mean, if you bought Marvel Avenger on Stadia, you won't get Spider-Man. You will if you own a PlayStation console, because it's an exclusive character for the PlayStation. So there's things like that to think about. But yeah, I'm a massive believer in not placing a flag in one camp to the detriment of all the others, because like we've said before, Duncan, if you've got Netflix, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have Amazon Prime, or you're not going to have HBO or Disney Plus or Apple TV Plus or Sky in the UK or any of the other broadcasters or content providers. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have those because you've just invested in Netflix. It's just another portal into another realm of content. Obviously, money has to be at the forefront of all these decisions, and it's important that these providers get those magic numbers right, otherwise we just won't be able to afford it. But equally, I think it's important to not put your flag in one camp, because the one way that all of these services will provide the best possible service at the best possible price is through competition. There is no way on this planet we would be looking at anything. We would be looking at games at £150 or $150 right now if there weren't competing platforms. So it's important to, support your local friendly console or your local friendly PC or your local friendly alternative cloud gaming service, because that's how we get the best services for our money.
Yeah, exactly. It's again, just to follow up on part of this, you don't have Netflix fanboys, you don't have Amazon Instant Video or Prime Video fanboys. This is where we're going to be going with gaming in the next 5 to 10 years. This is going to be probably the last big console generation going forward. There's always going to be a console, there's always going to be PCs, but this is this is going to be the last time it's going to be really, really big. I think it's going to be record sales to start off with. When PlayStation Now and xCloud starts pushing out these higher frame rates and higher graphics, that we know it's coming with xCloud next year, when they get Series X into the xCloud data centers. Things are just going to change. Don't get hung up on one platform or the other. We do have you will always have your favorite platform you're going to play on, but you're just going to play on more platforms. Like my favorite platform to play on is, like Rokk, is Stadia, but over the next couple of years you will be flipping between them all. It's just going to be like you're flicking on the TV channel. You're just moving between the different places to get the games where you want them.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, we'll be seeing new features. That there will come a point where all of these providers, it won't be good enough to simply say, "Well, we've got all these games too," because it will get to that point. It'll be very easy shortly for developers to port the game on all platforms, and they'll cover all their bases that way. They won't be cannibalizing their audience. They'll just be covering their bases so that nobody escapes the opportunity to buy them. So what we will see is a divergence in features, because they will need some unique point to excuse me, so they will need some unique point there, and that's essentially what we will see. Right, okay, that's it. I'm about to cough, which is why I'm trying to move on quick. I knew it was coming. I think that just about sums it all up, Duncan, actually, as it goes. Relatively, compared to some weeks, we've been relatively We've been
quiet.
relatively quiet, yeah, with stuff to talk about. Let's have a quick look at chat. We've had some really good comments today. Chat, thank you very much for. I mean, it always amazes me. I say it every week. The fact that you guys pop in and have a chat with us is brilliant on a Sunday morning, even more so. And we've had some really good conversations today. So, for example, when we did the little thing earlier on whether or not people were getting the same issues with Avengers on 4K, and Keith said that he is also getting issues on his deluxe version as well. And interestingly, I've not seen any comments from people saying that they've been getting those issues on the standard edition, Duncan. So it's kind of pointing. It would be it'll actually be an interesting test for Cloudy, I think, to run a little online report maybe and push that out on the website. See what we come back with on there. That would be quite useful. A lot of people saying they've got rid of their consoles. Other people saying they've kept their consoles. Daz here says, I personally will be investing with my Xbox One X, PS4 Pro, Stadia, and PC for the next year. So he's another guy that's likes to have a range of options for playing. And I know obviously Daz is a bit like me. It's horses for courses. Each one of those has its own foibles and its own benefits. So that's cool. Happy Cloud Gamer says, I've got my Switch, PC and PS4 and PS Now and Game Pass Ultimate, GeForce Now and Google Stadia. So he's covering all the bases. Interestingly, Happy, I think that we'll see a massive leap forward on PS Now coming up at around the same time as they launch the PS5. I think it's overdue. They've been ramping it up in terms of game content, as you know, and I think that we'll see some major improvements in the quality as well from them, which will coincide, of course, with the PS5 digital, which is going to be the download-only version of the PS5, and may still be the version I buy, actually, to be honest with you. So I think that's going to do us. Barry gives us a laughing thumbs up, which to me is always a good place to end things. Once again, thank you all for joining us. Cloudy, my friend, do you want to tell people where and whence they can find you?
Yep, you can find me at Cloudy with Games on Twitter, or you can find my personal account at One to Escape on Twitter as well, and the website is cloudywithachanceofgames.com. And we're going to be kicking off again this week, and like I said, we'll put up a wee article today at some stage about if you've got by the looks of things the deluxe version of Avengers, how do you actually fix that, and you get it playing for the next couple of weeks anyway, or hopefully a couple of days until they get the issues sorted with it.
If you have the deluxe version only, folks. Need to adjust that article, mate. Brilliant. Well, you can find me here. You can find me here on Sundays with Duncan when we do our tribute to casual gamers, busy people, and those new to Stadia. You can find us on a Wednesday together with Raf, who's our brand new co-host on Rokk Around the Clock, which is a peel back on the previous 7 days news in Stadia and a little bit more detail, a bit more of a deep dive, and that's always worth watching. You can even find the pair of us on Friday nights on Stadia Rockstars at Night. Do you know, I always get these confused. Rockstars at Night, which we took we sadly said goodbye to our good and dear friend Daz. He's still with us. He's physically still with us. He's physically still in the chat today, but work commitments and life, the main reason for this channel, this show, just